Here's the deal. This week was really bad for me on YouTube, but I kind of figured out what the problem was, I think. The problem were these damn live videos. Now, you'll notice I no longer have live streams displaying on my channel. I nuked them. I nuked all the live streams. And I got rid of all talk of Fight Forever. Because Fight Forever people destroy my videos. Because they don't watch them. When people come to your channel and they watch your videos, but they don't actually watch your videos, it kills the video. Because you're telling YouTube, this video wasn't good enough to watch. If you just come and watch a minute, it doesn't actually help me. Like, I feel I have some people who are like, oh, I helped Mr. Hargrave because I clicked on this video and then I let it play for a minute and then I watched something else. Guess what? You actually destroyed my video. That kind of thinking is killing my channel. You mean well, and I appreciate that, but you're literally killing my channel. So I have to get rid of you. You see, if you don't actually want to watch my videos, I need you to shuffle off. Okay? Whatever. That's fine. We can part ways. If you enjoy the high quality content I'm putting out, then I'm going to ask you to be diligent and come back to the channel a couple times a week to see what's new. Because YouTube ain't going to show it to you I don't know what it's going to take for YouTube to show my videos to you. But the one thing I have to stop doing is these live streams. I don't have to stop doing the live stream, but I have to stop making it a video on my channel that'll compete with my other videos. You see, I put out these live stream videos and they were competing with my other videos. And that, I feel, was the problem this week. YouTube was getting confused between my actual content and my live streams. Now, my live streams are going to find a new home on my first channel. I do have a first channel that I started up 3 years ago. And it's not doing anything right now. And I actually have a lot of good content on here that's enjoyable in other ways. I've done interviews on here. There's some wrestling content on here. There's some video game content on here. It was a video game channel. But there's a lot of, I don't know, my forays into different content over the years are on this channel. It's kind of a mixed bag on here. I've curated so it's only things that I'm proud of. So if you are a super Mr. Hargrave fan and you are watching this for some reason, some way, somehow, I'm going to be putting this live stream on my first channel. So if you're watching this on my first channel, I want you to know there's a second channel where there is high effort content that I produce. And the first channel is now going to be my home for previous live streams and things of that nature. And that's the strategy going forward, and hopefully it'll pay off. And hopefully this Nyla Rose video will do good because it's an extremely good video. If I do miss a comment, if I don't respond to everything here, I am looking at 3 different chat windows. And my live window and a monitor. Guys, I'm in a control room right here. I got a monitor kicking out colors out from behind me. Like I am overstimulated right now. Yeah. Like I love over here on X/Twitter. They want to know. I like when the chat argues with each other. That's my favorite is when I have someone on Instagram arguing with someone on YouTube and then someone on X/Twitter arguing with you. And like, Twitter wants to know, like, you guys are aware that if Jeff wins the Owen, he's going to be at Wembley in the main event, right? Like, are you guys thinking this through? Like, are you thinking this through? Are you sure about this? You think Swerve versus Ospreay at Forbidden Door goes to a draw? I think Ospreay takes his first loss at Forbidden Door. I think Ospreay takes his first loss at Forbidden Door. That's where I'm going with that. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm tipping my... All right, we'll talk about it right now. Let's switch and talk about Forbidden Door since I just started talking about Forbidden Door. I think Ospreay takes his first loss here. I think he does. You're wondering, no one else is. Facebook's got coming in with the hot take, wanting to know what the AEW ratings will be like this week. I mean, all right. I'll bite. Sure. That is actually a little bit interesting because last week it was the lowest ever. It was at 500,000 people, which, by the way, if you say it is 500,000 people, it doesn't sound that low, does it? 500,000 people is still actually a lot of people. Now, it was at 700,000 people. So, a good 200,000 people who normally watch Dynamite did not watch Dynamite. And yes, that is something to kind of talk about, I guess. We don't think he takes the L. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be good. The reason why I think Ospreay might lose at Forbidden Door is that if Ospreay doesn't lose, if Swerve doesn't beat Ospreay, then I don't know what the Swerve Championship has been. I don't know what this would be something for Swerve to say. I beat Ospreay as champion. The best wrestler in the world took a run at me and I beat him. That raises Swerve's stock. This makes Swerve a real champion in my opinion. Who did Swerve beat for the belt? Samoa Joe? Yeah, guy, I don't know. MJF had already beat Samoa Joe. Swerve didn't beat MJF. MJF is the strongest character in a... All right, I'm a video game guy. So a lot of times when I look at the AEW roster, I think in terms of like video games and power levels. And if we look at AEW historically, MJF is the strongest character in the game. He is OPAF. Okay? And Swerve never beat him. So that's huge. Will Ospreay, on paper, looks like he might be the strongest character in the game. So if Swerve beats him, that's going to elevate him quite a bit. Yeah, Swerve has taken a lot of heat for his championship run. Because he hasn't really been able to do much. This would be a lot. If he beats Ospreay, that's a big deal, and then people got to kind of... I don't think people are going to be dissing on Swerve's championship run as much if he beats Ospreay. Beat Joe, defended against Christian. It's not strong. Yeah, it's not strong compared to previous title history. Absolutely correct, Instagram. Hey, we try. Oh, you think Don Callis is going to come out and sabotage Ospreay? Look, I'm going to go even further, man. I'm going to say Swerve beats Ospreay clean. I don't think it's as good if somebody has to sabotage Ospreay. I mean, maybe, but I just think Swerve is going to win clean. I say Swerve wins clean. That's my desired outcome, actually. I think Ospreay has been pushed to the moon. I don't think it's going to hurt Ospreay to take a loss against the AEW World Champion, especially since I guess Ospreay is not. Well, we don't know. There's a wild card in the Owen tournament, right? The wild card might be Ospreay. What if the wild card in the Owen tournament is Ospreay and Ospreay gets his second shot by winning the Owen tournament? I mean, I don't know how dumb things are going to get, but I don't know. Or we might have to wait until next year's All In for Ospreay to take the big win at Wembley. I don't really know. Yeah, no way that Will Ospreay losing is going to hurt him at this point. He's clearly the best wrestler. No matter who wins or loses or what happens on the show, we all respect that Will Ospreay is an amazing talent. Yeah, I agree that it feels. I mean, I don't know. Right now, the main event at All In is going to be whoever wins the Owen tournament versus whoever the champion is. And if we're assuming that Swerve Strickland's going to retain and that Will Ospreay's going to win at Wembley, then we have to assume that Will Ospreay's going to win the Owen tournament that he's literally not in yet. Unless he's just the freaking wild card, that just, it feels really goofy, but I don't know what AEW is kind of goofy sometimes, and that's why I like watching it. So we'll see what happens. These predictions are crazy now. No one cares about ratings. We only care about wrestling. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I really don't care. It was also still in the top 5 of programming. Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't think AEW's in trouble. I think that's when we talk about the ratings and whatnot, I think that it's maybe interesting, but I don't think it's an indicator that the company's dying or that there's it's more of an issue of TV is dying in general. And I was talking the other day and I was saying, TV shows rarely go back up. When a TV show debuts, it has its highest ever numbers, and then it goes down until it ends, and then it gets high numbers again on its finale. So the only way for AEW to really get big views again is to air its final episode, and I don't want them to do that, so I don't really care about their ratings. All the contestants for the Owen Hart Cup tournament have been announced, short of one. There is a wild card that has not been announced. Nothing actually stops it from being Will Ospreay. Nothing prevents that. Yeah, Ospreay could join the Owen Hart tournament after Forbidden Door. My daughter is here to talk to me. Hi. Yes. They are informing me about cake. I'm being informed about the cake. Did you want to come over and talk to everybody? Because I have a couch and a second microphone. It's not a lot of people this week. But yeah, I could be involved in that. 20 minutes? Are you doing it right now? Okay. Sure, I'll come up in like 20 minutes. You guys have got 20 minutes. I'm being called away for cake. All right. All right. I got Facebook over here. What do you think of the final episode? I have not watched any of Who Killed WCW, bro. But I should, now that I'm a big Vince Russo. Now that my career is tied to Vince Russo, right? The biggest video on my channel is about Vince Russo. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. That's the Young Bucks video. He's funny. I don't dislike Vince Russo, guys. I don't want anybody to get me wrong. I'm not against Vince Russo. I think he's humorous. Like, the thing with the Young Bucks was just, like, stupid. I don't think it was, like, malicious. It was just, like, dumb. Like, dude, you have some really dumb ideas. I find it humorous. I can't say I don't know if there's one Vince Russo thing I actually like. I don't know if there's like one thing. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever pointed out like Vince Russo did that and I was like, oh, well, that's cool. I don't know if that exists. I don't know if I like anything he's ever done. It's hard to say. All right, chat suggesting that you might want to have Ospreay win because the Dynamite audience keeps decreasing. I don't think it has anything to do with who the champ is. Or, I mean, there was a question here earlier on Facebook. There was a comment here earlier on Facebook about, is MJF a draw anymore? And he is. MJF most certainly is still a draw. Now, we need MJF to do something. Like, we need MJF to be involved in an angle, a storyline, a feud. You know, we need hot feuds if you want people to tune in. But did viewership even go up during the MJF Adam Cole thing, or did it just not go down? Like, viewership went down when everybody got injured and went home. Viewership went down when viewership went down of wrestling in general after WrestleMania. Both companies' viewership went down. I don't know. There's a lot of factors that go into that. I think I did see Tony Khan's comments about Shane McMahon. I guess it sounded like he was kind of like open to it, which is interesting. The last time I talked about Shane McMahon was when I reviewed the worst Royal Rumble in history, which Shane McMahon, like everyone, eyewitnesses said that he just screwed up left, right, and sideways. So I don't think he's going to help the company that much. But it might be enough to get people to want to see what happens when Shane McMahon starts mishandling AEW. I mean, look, hiring Shane McMahon and pinning all the bad decisions on him might be a really good idea for AEW. And just be like, it's Shane McMahon's fault. I don't know. All right, so we got a numbers guy here on Facebook, and he's letting us know that when MJF segments would air, they went up 25,000 viewers. Well, here's the thing. I mean, and this is kind of the truth about AEW and ratings and stuff, is that AEW is comprised of little fan sets. You got like the MJF fans, the New Japan fans, the Ring of Honor fans, the Orange Cassidy fans, and they kind of pick and choose what they want to watch. And they're going to get interested in weeks where their favorite guy is featured and maybe skip episodes where they're not. So you don't have like AEW fans. And I'm trying to, the content I make, the message I try to send out is that all of AEW is cool. We should all try to be AEW fans and support everybody on the roster instead of just the very small part of the show that we enjoy. And I kind of don't have any tolerance for people that want to just like crap talk the Young Bucks and be like, well, when the Young Bucks show up, I turn the show off. I'm like, are you aware, like, number one, they started the company. Number two, when you do that, you're hurting the platform that everybody you like is taking advantage of. Like, the WWE is only so big, guys. If AEW goes away, which it's not, but if it does, then you have shot yourself in the foot with your hatred of the Young Bucks, your refusal to watch the show and support the company where some of your favorite wrestlers are, admittedly. What are you doing to yourself? Because you can't handle 10 minutes? Like, how fragile are you? Here's another misnomer. Okay, I'm glad you brought this up, Facebook, because this is a very common misconception about AEW, and the reason why it's a common misconception is because AEW doesn't talk about it. Tony doesn't book everything, guys. Where does that come from? Who told you that? Who else could book for AEW than Tony? Tony doesn't do it on his own. He doesn't. You feel his booking. It's always Tony Khan, Tony. And I think that he opens himself up for that. He never says it's actually a group of people. But guess what? It's actually a group of people. It's not Tony Khan. There's a whole table of people that do the booking. Maybe Tony Khan has final say. Maybe Tony Khan steers the ship. But any decision that's made in AEW is made by committee. Tony Schiavone sits in on those meetings. Okay. Dean Malenko. Jericho, there's a lot of guys at a high level in AEW. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. This isn't true either. All right, so yeah, you're being very specific. Kenny books the women, the Bucks book the tag teams. This is not accurate either. I don't think it's that clear cut. Maybe they took the lead. At one point, Kenny did take the lead on the women's booking. But he's in the hospital now, so he's not doing it now. There's a lot of people, guys. Now, what it's not is it's not the WWE where there's a board of directors and there's corporate interests. There's not. But there also is pressure from the networks. The network can say that the booking at Forbidden Door, the champion, you can best believe that Warner Brothers, TNT, TBS, they have a say in who the big champ is for their show. And they might have told Tony, look, it's got to be Ospreay. Make Ospreay that he might have pressure on him to make Ospreay the champion. You spent X amount. I mean, they can't tell him that. In the WWE, they could say something like, you spent X amount of dollars on this guy, so we've got to make the money on him. That's not the case here. There's not. This is an independent company. But Facebook, you might be the only chat here that thinks the Learning Tree Jericho is awful. You might be alone on that one. I think the Learning Tree is great. But Jericho thinks Jericho is great. And like I said, it's not just Tony doing the booking. So what's up with Jericho is that he's one of the guys that's doing some of the booking, man. So he's going to book himself. And he's always going to give himself a good spot, right? To Jericho's credit, he actually does seem to be doing a better job of trying to put over some other people. I think Big Bill looks great. I think Brian Keith looks great. I think Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata look great in this. I think everybody's going to come out of this one okay. For once. We know that the previous Jericho stuff was kind of not that great. But this whole Learning Tree thing, I think everybody's getting a pretty good rub. Everybody involved in this. Nobody seems to be getting hurt. I like Brian Keith more. I like Big Bill more. I like Hook. I like Samoa Joe more. I like Shibata more. I like all these guys more after they've been in this program with Jericho. And that's kind of crazy. And I think it helps that Jericho's burying himself. Like he is making himself. He's the champ, but he's like an idiot champion. And it makes everybody around him look cooler. Whereas the Jericho Appreciation Society made him look super cool and everybody else looked stupid. And that was bad. Yeah, there's a lot of bad faith criticism out there about AEW, and it's just nuts. And yeah, you're right. People like Jim Cornette have pushed this narrative that it's all Tony Khan's fault, and it's not. You cannot blame all of the AEW booking decisions on Tony Khan. We don't know what he even does. He organizes it all. He carries it around in a little notebook, but like, he's running it by a lot of different smart people and always has. He's never done it on his own. Maybe he's booked a couple of angles on his own. But where is this coming from? Has Tony Khan ever said, yes, I'm the guy, 100% of the booking, it is me? He hasn't said anything. He hasn't exposed the business. You fans out here want to go expose the business, but nobody in AEW has wanted to do that. I have only found out that it is done by a committee after watching hundreds of hours of interviews as part of being a documentary, journalist for AEW. Like, this is what I do now. And I have gleamed watching these, hundreds of hours of documentaries and interviews that this is how it's done. It's been alluded to many times over the course of multiple interviews that it is not just Tony Khan doing all of the booking by himself in a closet. Every decision that happens at AEW goes through many, many different people because it is a multi-billion-dollar business. It's crazy to think that Tony Khan is just doing it all himself. I'm sure he has more say in the company than maybe Triple H has in WWE, because Triple H has to run everything by a board of directors and shareholders and stockholders because they are not an independent company. They are publicly traded, and that's a different thing. Yeah, I agree. If Ospreay wins, it would make Swerve's reign as champion feel really, lackluster. But, there's an opportunity for redemption there. It could put some fire underneath Swerve. So if it happens, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not mad until the guys are mad. When Swerve comes out after the match and he says, man, I'm mad about that, then I will be mad about that. But until then, I will just assume that he's doing business and that he's okay with it because that's the show. All right, I guess let me go through the rest of these matches. I've got about 4 minutes here. It's been a great talk, though. Push Mark Briscoe. I don't know if the world's ready for Mark Briscoe, but he has been doing some really good promos recently, Facebook. That's true. Absolutely true. So, Jon Moxley versus Tetsuya Naito. I actually think Tetsuya Naito is the guy that is going to take the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship off of Jon Moxley. It would be really cool to see him do it at Forbidden Door. It feels really unlikely, but if there was one match where I think the guy from New Japan is going to win, it is going to be that one. This might be the make good. This might be the match where the New Japan guy goes over in a big way inside of AEW. Because Moxley has been running all over their guys over in New Japan. They have been booking Moxley so strong over there. I think this could be the spot where Tetsuya takes the win here. If he doesn't take the win here, they're going to have a rematch and he's going to win it over there. That's my thought. I think he's the guy. I think he is the next IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. I think he's been kind of on the outskirts for a long time. It seems like I think that he's complained about it, kayfabe or not, or real or not. I don't know if he was shooting or what the deal is with him, because I don't really follow New Japan. But if you look at their roster, he's definitely one of the guys I could see, being the next IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And Moxley's not going to hold that forever. But I don't know if it's going to happen here. I think it's a foregone conclusion that Toni Storm retains against Mina Shirakawa. It almost doesn't matter. It's more about the story that they're telling with that, which is brilliant. I really like that they have that. Oh, Moxley and Tetsuya is the rematch? I mean, they could go to a third match. I don't know. My critique still stands. I don't care that it's their rematch. I don't know. Like I said, I don't follow New Japan. I know that Moxley's been beating all their guys on their soil. So it seems like New Japan should win one of these, right? Because they're not winning anything else. Here, spoilers. Nobody else is going to win these matches from outside AEW. What's the record of outsiders winning matches at Forbidden Door? What's the record? How many outsiders win their matches at Forbidden Door? Ospreay won against Omega, but Ospreay was basically signing with AEW, right? So does that even count if Ospreay was literally like in the process of signing with AEW? Was that like part of the deal? Was that part of the negotiations? Well, you get to beat Omega at Forbidden Door. Hey, isn't this a great place? Well, thank you for that. I like the new content myself. I think that we're making really good videos now. I'm glad to see people enjoying them. I'm glad to be putting out high quality stuff. Mercedes is definitely gonna put down Stephanie. I can't read her name from here. Fakour, right? She looks great, by the way. I'm really excited to see her entrance. I was trying to look on YouTube for Vakour's entrance, and I couldn't find it. Like the one that they show on Dynamite. Like there's very little footage of her out there. But yeah, I want to see her get like a really big, awesome intro. I'm hoping for some cool entrances. AEW has been letting me down on cool entrances. Like their budget for interesting, unique entrances has gone way down. Like I think that we kind of only do them at All In now. I don't know, man. I miss him. MJF was big on that. He had special. MJF eats up the whole special entrance budget, doesn't he? Like MJF has had like 8 different special entrances. He might be the reigning champion of special. That feels like a video. I should make a video about all the different unique entrances and who's had the most. I'm pretty sure it's been MJF. Shane McMahon debuts at Forbidden Door. I don't think so. Moxley should drop the IWGP belt in London. Yeah, could be, could be. I think Mercedes wins, though. I don't think Stephanie Vakour has a shot there. Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre. I assume Orange Cassidy takes this win, but Zack Sabre's kind of on a tear right now, so that could be another one where the New Japan guy wins, but I don't know, man. Then you got Bryan Danielson versus Shingo for the Owen Hart. Well, Bryan's winning. Man, why do they got to put an Owen Hart tournament match in here? Because, you know, Shingo isn't going to, like... He's not going to be the guy. Like, Bryan Danielson is a real contender for the AEW World Championship. I don't think he's going to win that either, but, like, you can do Bryan Danielson versus whoever as the main event of All In, and it's money. You're set. It's probably one of his last matches that he's ever going to do. Bryan Danielson's winning the Owen Hart. Okay, look, spoilers. All right, there it is, guys. You want spoilers on the Owen Hart tournament? Bryan Danielson wins because, yes, Bryan Danielson is going to main event it All In because he didn't get to go to the last one, right? He got injured for the last one, and this might be his last. This might be his last match. One of his last matches. Like, he's almost done. Of course you're going to give him the main event. He's an instant main event with anybody. It doesn't matter who. So that makes sense to me. And then you have the TNT Championship ladder match. Okay, this is to win the championship? Oh, I think Jack Perry's winning that. I don't even care who the last guy is. It's going to be Jack Perry. And then not on here is MJF versus Hechicero. And of course MJF wins. Like, that's just a foregone conclusion, of course. All right, well, it has been fun this week, guys. I have to go eat cake. But go watch that Nyla Rose video if you haven't already. It is rather fantastic. A lot of hard work went into that. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Thank you for dropping in on Facebook. It was great to actually talk to somebody over there. Thank you to everybody else on all the other platforms. Keep an eye out for a video on Swerve Strickland. I should have another video as well. I think I can at least do 2 of these a week, maybe 3. I don't know. We'll see. I am going to be going to Forbidden Door on Sunday, so I don't know. And then make sure you subscribe to both of my channels, both Parts Unknown and just the Mr. Hartgrave YouTube channel. because I'm going to be putting these live streams, re-uploads over there from now on. They're going to reside on this channel.
He is I and I am him, and I'm the undisputed trend in that Taven. And this dork behind the camera, some Melvin told me to say, grave diggers keep on digging. Whatever that means.
I am AEW wrestler and Ring of Honor tag champ, Mike Bennett. And remember, grave diggers keep digging, but not the monster truck. Even though my son really likes that monster truck, I kind of like Son of a Digger, and so I'm going off on a tangent about monster trucks because my son really loves monster truck, but we're talking about the YouTube channel, so make sure, grave diggers, keep on digging, baby.
So this is Mark doing one half private party, saying what up to the grave diggers, and you doing your thing, bro.
Alright, like, subscribe, and watch another video, or be cursed. If you're cursed, that means the grave diggers will keep digging your graves. So, you probably want to do it.